Hello and welcome to another episode of Anime on Draft. This is episode 142. I had the volume of the stream on and I was getting double. And that was really
Nice.
hard to concentrate. But now it's
Double
not.
intro.
That's right. We're talking about oral hygiene this week.
Yeah.
mouths
Kind
clean.
of, but not really, but kind of, but also yes. But anyway, before we get into that, I'm joined by the whole crew today. We got Alec, we got Rolando, we got Mark. He's back from the cruise.
I made it.
Still alive.
Safe
Not-
and sound.
Not drinking. He had his fill over the past 7 or so days. So taking a little break ski. I got tricked into buying Corona, so I'm drinking Corona Familiar.
Mr. Meme Boy over here.
I
was like half asleep
created the
reading-
problem.
reading
so-
this.
Alex taking responsibility for confusing Drew.
But so Alex got the Corona Extra, kind of the base model of Corona, and then also Rolando and Alec have two different whiskeys as well. Rolando, what whiskey do you have? Monkey Shoulder.
Got the whole bottle.
Well,
Beautiful.
it's not a whole
Drinking it
bottle.
straight. Drinking it straight from the bottle.
It's a Scotch blend. Interesting over there. There it is. And then Alec, which what do you got?
I have the Shackleton blended malt Scotch whiskey, which
Oh,
is
the one that they found on the ship, right?
Yeah, it's a remake of the one they found in the, Antarctic expedition. A ship going there and it sank and been under ice, and they found a crate of whiskey, and then they remade it.
Very
And
cool.
That is what this is.
Tastes like the Antarctic, I'm sure.
Tastes like ice.
Oh, is this ice?
Wow, is this frozen water?
Absolutely nice.
Well, there's no ice in there. I saw you have whiskey stones, so I think you're a lying liar. But,
I'm a liaring
anyway.
liar cheat.
So while we're starting to sip on those, let's talk about our main anime pairing. We're going to jump right in. Excuse me. We're going to jump right into our Orishiri segment. We got Nisei Monogatari. I didn't say Nisekoi this week.
Wow.
Bravo.
Amazing.
I'm learning.
Oh, you just said it.
Well, this lost the game.
But
But we got Ski Phoenix episode 1. Although this episode really isn't about a phoenix, it's about oral hygiene and your brother brushing your teeth.
yeah, it's about incest.
I've been taking notes up until this point on most of the episodes, but there wasn't really much note taking going on this episode.
Just enjoyment.
I've seen this in full context. Rolando has seen this in full context, so I wanted to open it up to Alec and Mark. Mark, when we were starting it up, you made a comment, something along the lines of, "I didn't realize it was a whole episode of teeth brushing," but here we are. But yeah, I'll just open it up to you guys. General thoughts and impressions of this more so fan servicey episode than anything else.
Yeah, that's a good word. When he brought the toothbrush out and it was only on minute 8 of it, I was like,
Yeah.
this happened pretty quick. All right. And then literally just keeps going and going and going. And then I was like, oh man, this is getting a little uncomfortable. And then it just continued with discomfort and
A little
awkwardness.
is an understatement.
Yeah.
A little uncomfortable. Yeah, I no.
No, go ahead, keep it good.
No, that's it. I don't. I'm lost for words. I guess I saw part of the scene a while back. I didn't know it was 15 minutes of this, and then continuation after they get caught. Like, hey, we got caught, but we got some time. Like, it reminded me actually when they said that. It reminded me of that Russell Peters sketch where he talks about calling Child Protective Services on his dad.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I know
know
it's gonna take
exactly.
him 22 minutes to get here.
And in that time, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Real bad.
Real bad.
Anyways, yeah, it was uncomfortable, and I don't really know what I'm supposed to get out of this besides it was uncomfortable and weird.
Yeah. like it was kind of funny at the very beginning when they're like kind of playfully saying like, oh, like I love you, and he's like, who is this cute girl? This is like he's never seen his sister like wear a skirt before. Like, all right, like I get that, it's kind of funny, and then it just immediately devolved into just fan service and very uncomfortable sibling incest. Sort of.
Intimacy.
Yeah.
Intimacy.
Intimacy.
There's no
Yeah,
explicit
intimacy.
incest.
No,
There's no
no
explicit.
explicit incest. It's
They
It's
just get
heavily
along better
it's
now.
heavily implied
Yeah.
that it's an immoral relationship.
Yeah. Very.
yes.
Not
I
a
don't know,
fan.
My
I
not
have a
fan.
sister, and this makes me very uncomfortable. It's like,
At least
no.
she's not your younger sister.
Regardless, doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
Female relation.
I was gonna say
It doesn't matter.
No, thank you. I'll hard pass.
Yeah, this is, I don't know, it's like it's a very polarizing episode because you know you have, I think a vast majority, including myself, are kind of in the boat that y'all are in, where it's like this is like kind of awkward. Why did they do this? And then some people like get cis complex and they I don't know, they like it. I don't remember when this was released, but Rolando, maybe you do. Was this around the time when like
It was around that time.
and so that's kind of why it makes sense as to like why they would do it, I guess. The little sister fandom was kind of taking over everything, and so this is their kind of interpretation of it, I guess. I don't know. There's like a couple different ways to interpret it, but at least like for me, it doesn't feel like it offers very much to the characters. People can argue that it's like growth in terms of like even what is said at like the very end. Karen and I got along better from now on, but it's like I don't know if I want to get along
really
better
necessary?
in that way, or but anyway, I don't know. It's a meme episode. I like it for the meme. I like showing people kind of like how you guys first experienced it when it's like way out of context, like, hey, watch this, these guys are related.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't like this.
This is not
Wait,
fun.
hold up.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
part of it has to do with like we've discussed it before, and a lot of Aragi's relationships with these different girls represent something different, like a different type of love. And
Mhm.
this episode in particular, and sort of his relationship with Karen in general, is more on like kind of like fiery, obviously borderline incest in this episode in particular, but like they have like a very like sort of weird love-hate relationship that if you look at other forms of media, whenever they portray these types of relationships, like that kind of opposites attract thing happens and they end up maybe hating each other, and then they like they bang, right? So it's sort of playing on that a little bit, and it is like also playing on the fact that around this time when this season aired is like the whole little sister boom, like back with like Emo and all of that crap. But like I can see like it's very polarizing. Like I hadn't seen this since it aired, and I was like, man, like this is really uncomfortable. I can't believe it's still going on. I forgot that this scene was this long.
Yeah.
Well,
This
just like
is-
I'll go for it, Mark.
So this is like taking that forbidden love to a next level. Because as you mentioned before, it's like we get these different iterations of like types of love between Aragi and the other girls, and this is definitely one that like you don't quite expect, nor do you really want it to happen, but like they love and hate each other before. So this is really just like kind of almost like taking out that like hate side of it, and then it's really just like a forbidden type of thing. So it's like really just took it to the next level. That
The penultimate culmination of their love in this one steamy climax situation.
It's also like a
scene.
discovery, right? Because
Oh, for sure, like the
Yeah,
fetishes.
yeah.
he finally discovers, or no, it's like it's the first time he's thought of Karen as being cute, and then at the same time he's also discovering a weird fetish, and B, that weird incestual urge that he has. It was weird.
He's like, I'm kind of down with it. And she's kind of down with it, and it's kind of weird.
New fetish has been awakened.
Has been born.
God.
And Shinobu felt it too, apparently, right? She can feel it.
She's there.
Did Liz
She's
just
there.
say yes in the background?
Yes.
It's like-
She's on the phone. She's screaming on the phone. So.
Screaming on the phone. She's like,
She's
yeah, I heard that.
agreeing.
She's like, she felt it too.
Yeah, Shinobu.
In her
Shinobu.
loins.
I looked out and didn't have to watch this scene with her in the same room.
Well, that's
so.
good.
Oh yeah.
Didn't have to explain that.
The scene
Smart
started, and
man.
I casually pulled my cable to the door and just cracked
Oh, you
that
didn't watch it
shut.
at work?
No, I definitely didn't watch it at work. I would have been like one of 3 people at work, and everyone was just
Yeah,
kind
it
of
would have been fine.
chilling, talking
Yeah.
to each other.
You're like, oh, hey, what are you
know?
watching
Like,
here?
Oh wow, let me watch. Wow, this is steamy. You're weird. I'm not hanging out with
Not
you
gonna
anymore.
talk to you
Hey,
ever again.
weirdo.
You're like,
No,
wait,
it's a
no,
good way to
don't leave
social
yet.
distance. It's a good way to social.
Oh,
that's true.
You show
He's
them that, and
actually
you're like,
just-
all right, I'm never coming
like-
over here again.
Yeah,
He's helping himself. Preventative
even when
measures.
we're healthy. Fuck
Preventative
you.
measures. That's smart. That'll
Yeah.
work.
But yeah, I don't know. This episode's kind of wild, especially for the time it came out. It's like pretty insane. But we made it through that, guys, so we can make it through just about. I'm not gonna say everything, but just about everything.
I'm just waiting for it to get fun to watch again and not just uncomfortable.
This is slightly related, but slightly unrelated, or mostly unrelated. But Drew, did your house get turned into a Shaft anime because all of a sudden your stuff is like vast and open?
Oh, it's all empty. Well, we're getting ready to move, so the walls are barren. But yeah, the funny thing about this scene too is, and not really spoiler alert, but if we continue watching this show, there is a much worse scene than this, involving a little sister. I won't say which sister, but later in the anime there is an even worse or even more uncomfortable scene. So yeah, it's something to, I guess, look forward to. We can compare the two.
Mark's face.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not.
That definitely is a bit of a surprise. I didn't think that there was something
Oh yeah.
I'm
slightly
not
more
looking forward to
uncomfortable.
that.
Just watch.
Well,
I'll watch it at work.
Yeah, watch it at work.
I will warn you.
Oh,
just
so am I
you
home?
get into
Cool.
it.
All right. Done.
Yeah, right. Work.
Rolando, have you watched far enough to know the scene that I'm referencing?
When does it occur?
It's not
Should we
second. I
earmuffs?
forget what it's one of the
Earmuffs.
mini seasons. I think it's in Owari.
Then no.
I think
haven't
it's
seen
in
Owari.
Owari.
Oh, it's in a
but
later
I'm
season, not
not
later
this
in
season. Not this.
Ah,
Not
I
this
see.
season.
I see.
No,
I see.
no.
I haven't seen
But-
Worry.
but much
We're
further down.
safe,
I'm
Mark.
pretty
We're
sure it's
safe.
not second.
We're safe.
Okay,
Oh
good.
God, I was afraid.
As a
Can't
side
handle
note,
two.
while you're looking that up, I did notice that I watched this again on Crunchyroll, which is where I watched it the first time when it first aired, and I noticed that they had a mistranslation in there. It was wrong.
Ooh. All right.
They translated. So they say, or Karen says she wanted to commit suicide in elementary school because of how Aragi said
Mhm,
like harsh
mhm.
things to her before. And then later
Yeah.
on, they say that's why I wanted to kill myself in middle school, but she did say elementary school
Elementary.
again,
Elementary.
so that was wrong.
Yeah, she actually
Mm.
said seppuku.
Yeah, no, no, she didn't.
She actually said sudoku.
Sudoku. Don't commit Sudoku.
She said she
Oh,
wanted
it
to
is
play
in the second
Monopoly.
season.
It's in second season.
It's in second season, episode 3.
Oh, then I have seen it.
Oh, wow.
Oh wait, no, is this it? No, this isn't it. This isn't the one I'm thinking about. There's another one.
Oh
God.
man, we're really in for it.
let's
Anyways,
just
there's too
not
many
ruin it.
uncomfortable scenes. It's Monogatari.
There's too much sister loving.
Too much sister loving.
Maybe that should have been the name of this episode. Too much sister loving.
A little sister's all you need. Is that what you're gonna
Little
call
A
it?
sister.
little sister's oral hygiene.
Oh. Oh,
No, that's
That's
taking
too
no, no,
far?
no, no.
Alright.
That's too
That's
far,
too
dude.
far.
Too far.
That's too far.
You're right. I felt
too
uncomfortable
close.
as soon as I said it, honestly. I was like, I'm committed now. I've got to say it.
He just stops after saying oral.
How about just like everybody, just in general oral hygiene, just everybody take care of yourselves. Wash your
Brush
hands. Wash your
teeth.
brush your own teeth. God damn it.
Yeah, your own teeth. Floss with your own hands. Unless you're at the dentist, sometimes they go in there real quick and floss it, but that's
But
different.
you should floss every day.
You
That's-
should. I think you're supposed to floss twice a day.
I found out where it is. It's one of the movies, but
Oh.
the movie is part of the series. But anyway,
Well, we
it's a good
will
movie.
get there maybe one day.
Maybe
Yeah, in, like, 6
eventually
years.
one day.
Yeah, in 6
Yeah.
years. At the pace we're watching it. All right. Episode 842 of Anime on Draft. We got to the
I
next
mean,
uncomfortable
If there's another slow season, we could do another a 2 or series segment. 'Cause we
Mhm.
did do 2 episodes of Cowboy Bebop last
Yeah, we did.
season.
Yep. Easier to watch though than Monogatari, I will
yeah.
say.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's very text heavy. I really have to pay attention in Monogatari series. But as soon as I look away for like a couple seconds, I
You gotta
turn back
rewind.
and I'm like,
Thing.
oh,
He's like,
I missed like 4
Go back, go back.
sentences.
yeah.
Yep.
So much happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're
All
gonna watch it
right.
on Sundays.
Let us jump into our beverages for this evening. So I guess I'll start because, like I said, I got meaned into drinking Corona. I did switch it up though, because I haven't had the familiar type. I guess I don't know. It seems like a Corona's response to Modelo Negro, and it tastes very similar. It's like that same kind of like darker style. It's like a cross between Pacifico and Modelo Negro. That's like what it tastes like to me,
Right.
anyway. But I mean, it's fine. It's like a classic Mexican style beer. Nothing special about it, other than it tastes like how it's supposed to taste, and it's a decently like you'd want this like on a hot day. This is like something good for the beach. Something good with like some light snacks, chips and salsa, chips and guac. Mexican food, tacos, any of the above.
Burgers.
But yeah, I'm a fan. I mean, I haven't had like a regular Corona in like a long time, and I don't know. I like Mexican style beers. I'm a big fan of like micheladas. This would go decently in a michelada. I don't know. Just Mexican style beers hold a good place in my heart because that was one of the first beers I drank with my dad, and so that is a cool fun fact about me.
a Corona.
But yeah, it's good.
Or
It wasn't a
just
Corona, a Pacifico.
Pacifico.
His favorite beer was Pacifico, so that's what we
I
had.
actually like
And
Pacifico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I drank over the weekend.
there you go.
Yeah.
Only
Plenty.
Pacifico?
Only Pacifico.
That was the only beer that I drank. No, I had a Modelo on
mixing.
like one day, but
When you're drinking
just
professionally
Pacifico
over a
7 days
weekend,
straight.
you drink.
Yeah.
Oh, over a week, you drink one thing.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah, I
how
paid
he's
for the
still
unlimited drink
functioning.
package, but all I drank was Pacifico.
I got
Nice.
unlimited
Yeah.
Pacificos, dude. I gained like 45 pounds in a week.
And then he had a bunch of tequila shots, and then it was
Think
game
of the
over.
calories.
Ooh, nice. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So Alec, you have the regular Corona
Mhm.
Extra. Why don't you review that first?
Drink
Drink it.
it.
drink.
No line though. That's sad.
Yeah.
It's impossible to
I-
find produce.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
and I have
Sorry.
lemons
I won't,
in
blame,
my
I won't
fridge,
blame you for
but
that. I won't blame
wasn't
you for
about to.
that.
Yeah. Normally, I would get a lime.
Yeah, I don't want to drink Corona without a lime.
Just it's a lager, right? What is it?
It's
Does
It-
anyone actually
Mexican
know what it
lager.
is?
Mexican lager.
It is a Mexican,
Mexican lager.
Okay.
light
Because I was gonna
Mexican
say
lager.
it tastes like a lager. I don't know. It's sweet, like kind of, I don't know, sweet flavor, like corn kind of sweet flavor. Weedy, light, pretty mild flavor when it's not in the sun. If you get it in the sun, that's when you get that funk, and it's not fun.
You gotta drink it cold.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
drink it cold. Warm Corona is one of my least favorite beers. after
Cold and
maybe
with a lime.
Mississippi mud. It's not too bad without a lime, but it would definitely be better with a lime. It gives it that
It elevates it
flavor
for sure.
kick.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had one without a lime in many a years. And so it's a new flavor to me, but I miss the lime because you get that acidic kind of, kick. And same things. It would be good with the same stuff on a beach, with tacos, burritos,
Fish
burgers,
taco,
fish
yeah.
tacos.
Oh, fish tacos.
I
Probably made
good.
with Corona.
right. I was gonna say
Yep.
I love when people make it with the beer.
Mhm.
One thing I was reading though, you're not supposed to bring limes to the beach because you can get citrus burns
Scurvy.
or
You
that
get scurvy.
you get
Scurvy.
instantaneous scurvy.
Just by holding a lime in
Yeah.
a bag.
It's like
The limes
oh
prevent
god,
scurvy. It's
have
okay.
scurvy.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
was gonna say,
God.
I was like, how do they cause scurvy if you're holding them? But as soon as you ingest
As soon
it,
as you
it
ingest
cures
it, it's
it.
gone.
You
Yeah.
eat them, you're fine. Yeah.
Cured.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Cures
ask you
itself.
guys, what do you think it is about the lime and the Corona that just improves the flavor? Is it just citrus?
That acidity,
yeah.
I think, like really wakens it up. It like brightens up your palate, and then it like awakens the beer. I don't know.
I think it also
it
masks
takes
the natural skunky flavor that it can have.
Yeah. Corona
Yeah.
itself has like that kind of weird, like musk, like
yeah.
taste, like in it,
Mhm.
and then when you add the lime, it changes the way your tongue interprets the flavors. I believe.
Yeah, because it's
It
different.
brightens
taste
it
buds.
up.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Using
it's-
more parts of your tongue.
It's awesome.
Makes
And it
sense.
makes it a little less flat to me. Like the beer is kind of not like carbonated flat. I mean, it isn't all that carbonated really, but it's kind of like a flat beer. You get the
I
get
had
funk
a
and then
I had,
it's-
I had a buddy who would he would pour it out and then like drop a lime in it and then salt it. And
Salt
that
on
would
top
like
of it?
you just salt in the beer.
beer?
Like
Okay.
like straight into the beer. And so it helps like waking it up. You get that like effervescence, starts fizzing and everything. You get a little bit of that like salty, limey, kind of, those flavors go well together. And then you have like the beer through it too. It's pretty good. I mean, it's obviously not very good for you.
No.
Add salt to your beer. Go cholesterol on top of
Your high
sodium.
blood
on top
pressure
of
is going all over
sodium.
the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
Your
saying.
heart doesn't like it, but it tastes delicious.
Besides today, if I'm out drinking a Corona, it's not because I'm being healthy. It's probably because I'm on the beach eating
Yeah.
a bunch of
Bergs.
barbecued, delicious, bad for me food, having a
Bergs,
good time,
nugs.
and that's it.
Nuggies.
And then I go
the
home and I'm
nuggets.
like, God, I am a fat ass.
Yeah, yeah. You
Fuck.
just start feeling bloated.
Yeah, you're like, God, all I gotta do is pee. So yeah. And then to
Cool.
continue on, I guess
Yeah,
I also
do
have
that next.
the Shackletons. It's quite a shift. I'm gonna say going from this to Corona and now back to this.
He's got
My-
an odd combination going on here.
It's partially my own fault. I've gotten so good at memeing that just people don't know.
You did this to yourself.
I did it to
You
myself.
really did this to yourself.
But yeah, so my palate's a little fucked. So here goes.
He's got like the combination for a very odd Boilermaker.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
It's
though.
true.
Mexican lager and blended Scotch. That's weird.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do
It's
it.
good.
Do it.
It's good.
Don't do that for the memes either, please.
No, I'm not. No. Ugh, that sounds awful.
You're gonna feel like shit tomorrow.
Now I'm gonna drink tons of water and eat after this, and I'll be perfectly fine. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
It's good. It has like a spicy, caramely, I guess, like earthy smell. It's a peatier whiskey or scotch than I'm used to. So it's definitely smoky. The flavor is similar. To me, it's smoky. There's like a sherry flavor. It has, that one of my favorite, I guess my favorite scotch of all time is the Macallan 18. and that has like the sherry kind of flavor. It has that in this, but the 18 is just more refined. It's also, I don't know, 5 times the price or something. This is, I think, like a
It also
$40
wasn't-
bottle.
It's also not trying to copy a barrel of
Yeah.
scotch that was found
The
under
bottom
water.
of the
Antarctica.
ocean.
Yeah. So it's good.
True ice.
I enjoy it. It's not too expensive. Like I said, I think it's like
I think it's around that.
$45.
I've seen it
um,
around that price.
40 proof, and
Not
then
bad.
every bottle that's sold goes to, I was reading about it, it goes to help the Antarctic Heritage Trust to preserve Shackleton's 1907 base camp. So
Cool.
it goes to a cool cause. It tastes good. It's not expensive. I recommend it.
I like all those things. Yeah,
hmm
very cool.
Does it make you want to
Uh,
go to a place further than the universe?
Actually, yeah, every time I drink it, I think about going to Antarctica, and I think it would be really cool to drink some of this in Antarctica while screaming. for
Supporting
my
the
mama.
girls.
Just scoop up
Mom!
some fresh ice.
Yeah, I'll just find a laptop in a cave. Mom!
Gaza. Flashbacks.
Flashbacks. So sad. Anyways.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rolando, how about the monkey paw shoulder?
Monkey shoulder?
Combo.
you guys know
combo
what-
whiskey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Comber's whiskey.
Well, yeah, if she was malting, if she was malting, then yes. So you do you know how monkey shoulder got its name?
I don't. Explain it to
know
us.
either.
Learn us.
Well, let me read you the back of the bottle. So, rooted in malt whiskey history and inspired by the malt men who still turn the malting barley by hand, Monkey Shoulder is blended in small batches of 3 fine Speyside single malts, then married to achieve a smoother, richer taste. So, if you're not familiar with how Scotch is made, you have to malt the barley by hand. So it's like you have to, actually, that's what malting is, like malted barley. And so these malt men, they would get like a shoulder like this,
Flip pan.
from all of the overwork and kind of like the position they have to be to malt the barley. And so because they've got this lowered shoulder kind of like here, it looked like how a monkey slouches. So thus they called it monkey shoulder, and that's how this whiskey got its inspiration, the name.
I love that bottle with the cool little.
They
monkey.
learned.
With this.
Yeah,
I mean that.
Yeah.
the
See
3
that?
monkeys. It's a cool bottle.
I don't have autofocus on, so it's hard to
It's okay.
change that.
Monkey see, monkey do.
But
This is a cool bottle.
yeah, this is like a very affordable blended Scotch, and it's actually very good for how much it costs. It's around like the $30 to $40 range for the bottle, and it's got a very sweet floral head. It's kind of like caramely, vanilla, a lot of vanilla. And it's very, in my opinion, light. So yeah, it's a little peaty and just overall light. I do like to add a splash of water to it, so that I'm not diluting the whole thing with an ice cube. So I use a whiskey stone, add a splash of water just to open it up and make it a little less oily. But yeah, it's very, very floral, peaty, and you get a little bit of the caramel note from the malt, but not too much. It's more on I want to say it's more on the briny, smoky side. Not as smoky, but more briny. So I actually think, Drew, you would like this. I don't know if you've had monkey shoulder before.
I haven't, but it's something that I'm interested in after hearing you describe it. I'm a fan of smoky, peaty Scotch, so
It's not
sounds.
super smoky or anything,
Mm.
but it is more on the peaty and briny side.
I like
Mhm.
both those things. So.
Yeah.
We went to that whiskey bar, Drew, a while back, and I got
Mhm.
a monkey shoulder old fashioned there, and it was very good.
That's $7,000
Yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
That actually
Seven
makes
grand.
makes sense because if you taste the flavor profile, it actually is a little similar, but less spicy than a rye whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mhm. I had a monkey shoulder old fashioned. I have two of them actually on the ship.
Nice.
Yeah, so the first one was very sweet. They put a lot of the simple syrups in it, and it just really detracted from like that peaty flavor I was getting.
ate that.
Yeah, and it kind of just threw me off. So I asked him to make it. Well, I didn't tell him to make it again.
Fix this
I said,
You drank it.
I
and
said
you
I
got
just
it.
wanted I wanted another one because I mean, yeah, why not?
Unlimited alcohol.
Yeah, I figured. So I had another one, and I told him, easy on the ice, easy on the simple syrups, like just make it
wanna
with
taste the
less.
whiskey.
He said,
Yeah,
"I don't
make it
want
with as
diabetes."
little
One
Otherwise.
cube of
additives as you
sugar.
can. Yeah, just as little additives as you can, and it'll be very good. And yeah, turned out to be very delicious. I liked it. That hint of sweetness that I got from like a good old fashioned with it just really set it off. Like that peatiness from it is what really blends well together.
Now I want an old fashioned.
Yeah,
Me too.
I
Very
do
good.
as well.
Hmm.
Well,
Old
I
fashioned
can,
break.
I can make
We'll be
one.
right back.
Yeah,
let's go.
2 minutes.
Little
Put
too
on the
long.
music.
Yeah,
We need an
Um,
old fashioned break music. We gotta create a song.
Yeah. Just get a little
instead
jazz
of our
combo.
Yeah,
well,
right.
instead of our opening with like the beer, the fizzy beer, you have like an old fashioned glass, like dripping ice. Like there you go.
Sweating.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
We gotta start a
Beautiful.
jazz
Alright.
combo for the music, and we have to play Cowboy Bebop music.
Yeah. We gotta get real good. Real fast.
We gotta play some
play
Jupiter Jacks.
sax, right?
Yeah, I gotta find my saxophone somewhere in San Diego.
Cool. I don't know. Do we we have a whole bunch of random stuff? Do we want to rate all of them, or should we just move on to the next?
Why not?
Let's
Why
do it.
not? He
Why not?
says.
It's gonna be
So-
eclectic.
And
but
Mark
whatever.
can chime in for the monkey shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll start then since I let off. The Corona Familiar, basically what I described is a very basic Mexican style beer, and it is very good. I don't know, not much else to say about it. I'll just give it a 3. A 3 for me. Alec, go ahead with your two pairings.
So I'll start with the one I reviewed first, the Corona Extra. It's a classic. It pairs with lots of food. Excellent with lime. Yeah, 5. No. I think it's good. I don't think it's great. I will probably not buy it for a long time again, like I haven't. But I think I'll give it a 3.25. I think that's
Nice.
deserving
Nice.
for its classical
And,
nature. Oh yeah, and then I forgot. So this one's gone. This
Must mean
one-
it's good.
It's good. I enjoy the flavor. I was kind of reading right now after to see if people had like other notes, and it looks like a lot of people say that adding water, which I added a little splash of water because that's usually how I like my whiskey, brings out the smoky flavors. So that kind of explains why it was really smoky to me. But I enjoyed it. I think it's not like my ultimate favorite, but it's good. So like 3.75, I think. Pretty decent.
Cool.
Especially since it's only like
And,
$40 bucks.
Yeah, heck yeah. Rolando, how about your monkey paw shoulder?
Monkey shoulder. I mean, monkey shoulder's good. It is a bit on the oilier side, so adding the water does help it out, and it does kind of open it up. In terms of blended scotches, I haven't had too many, but this is actually very, very good for the price range. And like, if you can get a bottle for like around 30-35 bucks, like you're getting a very good good bang for your buck, in my opinion. It is like a bit it is a bit on the like astringent side. So you if you're adding a splash of water to your whiskey, which is not a bad thing. I know like there's this I guess there's a stigma with adding water to your scotch or anything, it actually does change like the chemical makeup, like Alec was talking about, and adding a little bit more water to this does help open it up a bit more. So like my suggestion would be try it straight from the bottle, see how you like it, and then add just like a tiny, like a few drops of water. Wait, try it, sip it, see how it changes, and then keep going until you like just feel it's not good, it's too watered out, and then like kind of judge how much water you should put in there to get like that good balance. Because like right now, like I'm getting like the peat, a little bit of smoke, and then that vanilla caramel note, and it's very good for what it is. So I would have to, just for how much it costs and how good it is for the price, I would give it like a 3.5. You know, it's an average, good average blended scotch.
I can't recommend what you said enough about like try it straight how it is, and then go a little bit of water, a little bit more. You know, it totally like changes the flavor profile. You know, Alec, we had that bottle of the Macallan 18 a while ago that we kind of split, and but man, you could totally tell the difference. You go from like this super like smoky, refined to like this more like fruity, appley, sherry sort of flavors as you start adding water and it starts getting colder. Because not only the water, but if like you have cold water or like ice, it totally dramatically changes. So
yeah, it was cool. We had that one time we sat out on your back patio drinking that for until we were both pretty drunk, and then the flavors just change. And the one thing I'd say is like it's really easy to kind of get into your way of like, well, this is how much water I like with whiskey, and it's like it changes by like each whiskey. So like do that thing for each one you try, and then maybe write it down or try to remember, because I know I did that for a while. I was just like, I like this much water, and then I was like, wait a second, that might not be right, because as ice goes, the flavor changes, and so now I try to add a little sip.
If you want to know more, you should definitely subscribe to the Whiskey Tribes channel and learn more about whiskey.
The Shackleton's blended malt Scotch whiskey is reviewed on their site. If you look up, I think it's McKinley's Old Shackleton Rare, or McKinley's
something.
Shackleton blended malt Scotch. Look that up and you'll find the YouTube video. They'll have a more comprehensive, better review of the flavors than me.
Yeah, their combo is like an actual sommelier and a sort of your average Joe, but like now he knows a lot more as the channel has grown.
For a while,
so he's been doing it for a while.
So years, yeah.
They distill their own whiskey too.
Now.
So
they do.
Yeah.
It's a cool channel for sure.
Yeah, very much.
All right, let's get into our news segment, and Rolando, I'm gonna let you lead us off with the first one while I grab a second Corona.
He's grabbing another one.
Because this was only 12 full ounces, so I need to go get 12 more full ounces.
Yeah,
Go double
ounces.
your full ounces, man.
Full ounces. All right.
I'll leave it to you guys. I'll be back.
So to follow up on the news from the end of January, where there was the new Love Live TV anime project that was announced, they updated the animation. It was just a background of like one of the main areas in Harajuku, but they are teasing a sort of main character. The quality of the image on Anime News Network is not very high, so I don't know if you want. I don't think you should pull it up, Alec, but you can probably post a link in chat. But
pull up chat.
Basically, the details of this new anime project they are still auditioning. So unmarried women from ages 15 to 22 will be eligible. And so apparently from Love Live Days Volume 6, there was a huge info dump about this. Basically, there was the auditions. There was basically during round 2 of the auditions, they have to sing a Muse song and an Aqua song is voted on by the fandom. and then the new school is actually like reopening. So like it had been closed down for a bit, and then now they're reopening. So basically, all of the school idols in this project are going to be first years. So that's going to be an interesting take on how the series has been going so far. But a lot of this stuff is crowdsourced, quote unquote. It like stuff is being voted on. Other stuff that's being voted on. So like the Niji Gasaki anime is going to be coming out as well, and the player character, that's dubbed Anata-chan, is there. There's a bunch of names being voted on, and you can vote on that as well. And yeah, basically, just a bunch of stuff coming out for Love Live. It's going strong, still going strong, I guess.
Going strong.
Do they have a character design for like the player character?
Yes.
Have they done
Like a twin tail.
Twin tail. You got the thigh highs. Looks like a typical twin tail character.
Yeah.
All right.
So we covered. Was that both sets of Love Live news there? It looks like.
Yes. Well, we didn't cover the name of the new anime project, but it's the Hello Love Live Watashi o Kanaeru Monogatari. So
The story of my dreams coming true.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Just a general announcement, as sure as most of you are aware right now, many tasting rooms, breweries, any places that do not serve food are closed, at least in California, due to COVID-19. So stay safe out there. There's also, yeah, for sure, just added to a long slew of events, including SakuraCon, have announced it will be canceled. But anyone who has a ticket for 2020 will be given a ticket for 2021. I assume that a lot of other events are going to kind of go the same route.
Can you refund? Or like, can you get a
anime.
refund? I mean,
Not sure.
They haven't announced that yet, but they're saying that for sure anybody who is a member that has a ticket will have a ticket for next year. But they haven't said anything about cancellations or refunds right now.
Yeah, I'm sure Anime Expo, like David said, is probably still up in the air. That's kind of happens around July 4th. We don't know where we'll be by
It's only a
then.
couple
they're trying to
months away,
see
and, like-
if summer or if spring at least helps.
When the heat picks
Tame
up.
down.
Well, I know too, like, well, I know we're not a sports channel or anything like that, but like a lot of the sporting events are kind of closed or canceled or postponed, and they're saying like not till June or even July. Like the baseball season was supposed to start next week. Probably will get delayed all the way till June or July. So
Summer training.
yeah, right.
Summer training.
So Anime Expo is like kind of on that fringe area, so we'll see what ends up happening with that. But there's a couple others. I'm sure MomoCon happens around May in Atlanta. That's a big one that I've gone to. That's a lot of fun. And tons and tons more. Dragon Con happens in the summer. That's kind of a ton of people in Atlanta as well. But yeah, so we'll just keep an eye on it. If there's any big announcements or anything related to venue closures or cons canceling or postponing, we'll try to let everybody.
Don't look at your
Stay safe out there.
fund.
Yeah, wash your hands. Don't
Wash your hands of everything, including your.
Don't look at Bitcoin right now. Don't look at any crypto.
Don't look at anything.
It'll come
Don't look
back.
at the stock market.
Leave it alone.
Just
leave it alone.
Yep.
If anything, now is the time to start purchasing.
To buy, yeah.
It's
Buy
fine.
low.
It's fine to invest into your retirement.
Yeah.
But
Don't stop all of a sudden.
retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is basically the thing.
Yeah.
So next, a little bit of news, maybe a little bit more positive here. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
That's what he feels.
Slayer.
That's how he feels subconsciously about it.
Demon Slayer.
They're getting a cell phone game later this year. I don't know what this means. Maybe one of you guys can help. An asymmetrical survival action game. That's what it's being described as.
How do you
know what
survive
that means.
asymmetrically?
I just thought that was funny. That's why I put it in there.
What does
I don't
that
know what that
mean?
means. I
Googling
have
it.
no idea.
Well,
it says
asymmetrical
read
means
it.
it's not symmetrical.
Yeah.
It says that you're gonna have teams of demon slayers and demons fighting against each other. So I don't know if it's like a PvP centered thing.
Does that
or
mean that you can fight demon slayers
collect.
and demons together?
I think so. That's kind of what it sounds
that's
like.
what it means. Yeah.
Asymmetrical
All right.
multiplayer is a multiplayer mode in which the different players have totally different roles and capabilities, unlike most multiplayer games where all the players are generally doing the same thing and playing the game the same way.
Oh, okay.
Google.
Thank
Per-
you.
Sorry,
Thanks
per
for that.
tvtropes.org.
Thanks.
Okay.
Tropes.
Thanks. Thanks.
Got it, dude.
It's
So-
also getting a PS4 game as well next year. Just
Oh,
just
nice.
throwing that out
That'd be
there as
kind of
well.
cool.
A
I
fighting
think.
a
Probably
fighting
look,
game.
Maybe look good.
Probably.
Dude, if it has the art style of the show, I would play that fighting
That would look
game.
really
Yeah.
cool.
And I don't
Arc-
play fighting games.
Arc System Works has been making a ton of fighting games, so
Yeah. Oh, is Arc Systems doing it? It will probably be a fighting game.
if they
then.
I don't know if
Um,
they are. I'm just saying if it is a
mm,
fighting game,
It would make sense. I mean, that's the kind of game that they would adapt.
it would be
I would
the
think,
next
but,
anime fighter
If
to
it comes out,
to
Blaze
be
good,
the,
I'm
the
gonna
new
make my
flavor of the
own-
month.
make my own. What do
Fight
they call
stick?
it?
Fight stick.
Fight stick, yeah.
I have two, so if you want one, you can borrow one.
Oh, there's that too. I'd play with you guys.
Are you sure
I-
you're gonna play this time?
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
play Smash with us before.
I didn't buy Smash, so I don't like it.
Too many sword heroes.
He'd rather
Marth
play. He'd
clones.
rather play a real fighting game. Is what he's saying.
Yeah, League of Legends.
Ooh.
Oh, got him.
Because you fight with your
Ooh.
teammates.
Is it League? They announced that they're making a fighting game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
that's true.
Not playing it.
Wow.
Yeah. So last little bit of news. Golden Kamuy will be getting its third season later in the year. October. I can't even speak anymore. October.
Octobia.
You know what I was gonna Coronas, man.
Octobio and
Wait.
Dragon
Octobia.
Slayer.
What is
yes.
this? What is this Corona doing to you, dude?
Octobia, yes, dear.
Before November, eh?
I'm just gonna start making up words and not making up months. Jesus. Geno Studio released a short teaser on YouTube announcing the next season. Isn't Geno Studio doing Pet as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Hopefully the animation quality improves.
Unlike
Not that I'm
this week's
watching
episode.
Golden. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Anyway,
Mailing, man.
poor Mailing.
Poor
Goddamn.
mailing.
Yeah, let's jump right into our current anime then. Pets, we'll start with that. And like I say it every week, the story is so good, and then you get like the animation quality. I don't know how much of it is like the studio preparation, which is probably a lot of it, and also like how hard they've been hit with people being out of work with the coronavirus, affecting their deadlines and things like that. But man, I just remember like it stood out to me. It's like there's a scene where it's like somebody's reaching for the door, Satoru's door, and it's like his hand's over here, and then all of a sudden it just like warps to the door handle. I'm like, what?
Dude, he's
So,
the
it's just-
fastest among them, all right? It's possible.
Oh, his
True.
hand is faster than the eye as well.
Yeah, that's how magicians work.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Wow,
Wait,
wow,
well,
wow.
I also don't know. Is it the animation quality, or is it just that Skasa has this weird drugged out face?
Yeah, all
Because
the whole
the way his
episode.
face was
Like-
drawn the whole episode when he's in the
So
background, it looked so just bad.
Well, all the characters too, like what's the dude's name? The Chinese guy, Ling,
Long.
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 Like he
Wait,
looks
the
like
old,
totally
Long is the old guy.
The,
the-
young dude?
the
The young
guy,
dude.
the young one,
I don't remember
who's
his
like,
name.
I don't know.
I,
Yeah, his
whatever.
name's Long. Long.
I think it's Long, yeah.
Yeah, and then
The
the
guy who
CEO.
uses mailing.
Yeah.
But like he looks drugged out the whole episode. Tsukasa super drugged out the whole episode. You got Hayashi who is like
Oh,
you
he's
know,
actually like
he's crushed, so
Yeah.
he's like
Right.
it's okay for him to look like that, but he looks like the characters who are like
He's
actually supposed to be normal.
his involuntary
Yeah.
functions work, but his actual mental functions do not work.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
He looks-
Mei Ling also looks really
Yeah.
bad. Just like,
Poor mailing.
Oh, his-
dude.
His name is Ron or Mr. Long. I googled it.
his name is Ron.
Apparently.
Ron-
According to
Burgundy.
this.
I'm Ron Berg.
I'm Ron Burger.
Speaking of weird translations, not to get like too far off subject, but we mentioned it a lot. Beastars started airing on Netflix in the U.S. I believe it was this week, but a couple weird, funny translation things. So if you watch it in Japanese with the subtitles, Louis is Rui. They added an R instead of an L, and Haru is Hal. So I guess Haru is now Hal.
Who's
The HAL 9000?
Did they get the actual
Hal.
like Japanese staff to subtitle it or something?
That's what it sounds like. It's strange.
This is another Rufy and Luffy fiasco.
Yeah. Oh no.
Got a roofie.
Anyway, before back to Pet. Other than us ragging on the actual animation, interesting episode. I think we kind of have this like culmination of like what's going to end up happening, and Tsukasa like thinks he's being slick with all this stuff, but I have a feeling, and they kind of mentioned that Hayashi's got the penultimate plan that's going to kind of win out in the end. But I don't know, thoughts about that.
Yeah,
he's got pigeons
Yeah,
and
he got
melee.
carrier pigeons.
He got carrier pigeons.
Carry a
Whatever she says.
pigeon.
Carry a pigeon.
Yeah. Carry a pigeon.
It's just she's
Carry
a
a pigeon.
child, all right. Come
Yeah.
on. She doesn't have a will of her own. She cannot.
She's really Her mental capacity is very, very limited.
Just
Yeah.
don't
Very
look
slow.
away from the butterfly.
Crushing people.
Where everything
Oh,
gets
okay.
bad.
Idiot.
You can't see the world is burning down around you.
No.
You foolish
That
fool.
is
show her
her
that and she
entire
just goes,
life.
"My legs!"
Leave her alone.
Your peak is beautiful.
Man, that scene where Satoru like shows up in what's his name's peak, man, that was creepy. Like he just looks over and like, Tsukasa shows up in Satoru's.
Oh yeah.
and peak. And Tsukasa's face is just like morphing out of the water.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, oh,
Oh, you have
Get
two
outta here.
legs.
kind of jumped out of that.
He's becoming this
Yeah.
character that you really love to hate.
Yeah.
I just,
Terrible.
yeah, really hate him.
Yeah, and it kind of changed. You know, we were all team hate Hiroki, and now it's like
He's still
switch
annoying, but
sides.
I do
He is still
root for
annoying.
him though.
You
Yeah, I root for him.
empathize with him because it's like his life sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the whole world around him, like everything that he's known is basically falling apart. And the one person he thought he can trust, he basically like I can't trust them
His
anymore.
owner
Like,
abused him.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
awful.
and he's less of a pet now than his owner.
He's a lone wolf.
Yeah.
No
Now he's
longer
like,
a dog.
He'll never leave me, and no one will take him from me. It's like, dude.
I hope
Yeah, it's creepy.
I
Yo,
hope
dude,
that
free will.
Hiroki is able to sort of turn Satoru and they work together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I hope.
Yeah.
And Mei Ling too. Like you gotta feel bad for Mei Ling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they
If
fix her.
anything, Satoru is
Give her
able
a
to
look.
help. Yeah, Mei Ling.
Yeah, he'll be sort of step into like Hayashi's shoes, be that kind of mentor sort of character, and hopefully the organization takes a fall. Yeah, only a couple episodes left, so we'll hopefully get
The
some
carrier
resolution.
pigeon, just to be clear, is like a secret thing. Is
Yeah.
that a secret memory? Is that what he implanted in Mei Ling, or is it just like some sort of message that she has for him?
I think it has to do with his specific connection with Satoru.
Mhm.
Because if you remember in an earlier episode, like he was told by Hayashi's like, no, that they have the carrier pigeons are everywhere. And basically
Mhm.
everyone's listening in and watching you. Like they have carrier pigeons, like the people delivering information. Like
Yeah.
the people that
Yeah,
are
code-
under
a code
control
word
are the
almost.
carrier pigeons. Like they're
I see.
transmitting information to the people in the company.
Yeah, I want to know what that is.
Yeah.
So bad.
I'm excited to see how this one's gonna end.
Yeah.
It's kind of been a wild ride. Like definitely lows in terms of like animation quality, but like storytelling has actually been like quite good. So
It's got some like weird parts that like in it. Like some episodes like I kind of could like care less of, until like maybe like the last couple minutes,
Mhm.
and then like it just kind of brings me back in, and then I go, all right, like now I want to know more again.
Yep.
It's
For
got
sure.
these like weird like waves.
yeah,
They're good
for
at
sure,
ending
for sure.
episodes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
if anything.
Like this week's ending was dope. It's like they kind of capture Hiroki, and you're just like, no, he's your bro.
Yeah.
But,
Dude, no. But it's kind of cool that he
Oh.
like evolved or whatever. And that's definitely gonna come back to bite. It's Tsukasa, right? That's his name.
yeah,
Crazy. It's gonna come back
definitely
to
gonna
bite him. So
for sure,
That's cool.
for sure. Cool. So that's Pet. A couple more episodes left of that. Looking forward to it. Let's talk a little bit about Madoka. This was another episode where it's like I don't like this show. I don't know. It's like they'll have good episodes and they'll have bad episodes. Good episode, bad episode. It seems like kind of a pattern here. I don't know. Like the villain or like the villain organization just like it's not doing it for me. I I don't know like kind of what to think because it's like you have two factions, right? You have like the regular faction of all the normal girls that we've been following, and you have like this Wings of Magius who's like kind of seducing the girls into joining their cause, and they just keep over and over saying it's like it's not what you think it is, it's not what you think it is, and they just keep repeating that. It's like we're doing this for the greater good, and it's like well prove
trust
it.
me, it's fine.
It's what we're doing over here. It's great. It's everything's gonna be fine. So I was hoping at least this episode they would kind of with this meeting in the museum they would kind of hash that out. But we had the episode was like way too long for what it was. It was like a lot of nothing, and then it's like all right, we're finally starting to get into it, and then it's like all right, next week. I don't know. The pacing on the show I don't think is very good, and like the overall storytelling in terms of like who the actual villain is supposed to be, it's like super confusing for one, and it's like not that at least.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is that in the first Madoka, the pacing was like really good, and in between those kind of lulls in the story, it's still kind of captivating because the gravity of the situation that they're in is like so just heavy that you feel like this like really serious mood, I guess. But in this season, those lulls are like really boring and like not much is happening, not much is on the line. And it's just like a lot of like nothing is happening that may have minor implications on the overall story, but it just doesn't seem like the gravity of like the villains and like the situation that they're in is really that bad. I don't know.
And it's like I don't really care. There's too much going on, so it's like we're looking for her sister. We're trying to figure out what the deal is behind the Wings of Magius. There's still witches. There's still the Uwasa. There's too many conflicting things going on, and it's like I feel like they will do a good job of wrapping it up because they kind of already started to do that a little bit in like previous episodes. But it's just like the journey to get there to me is like not that interesting. I don't know.
I have a sort of dissenting opinion of like this last episode because
That's
I
fair.
actually like this episode more than the actual previous few. I felt like the previous few episodes were just boring, and like I just didn't care about this Sana character and the whole like AI thing. It just
Yeah,
felt
I
like
think
this
that's what it is.
added plot. But this episode they kind of went back to the whole actual thing with Iruha's looking for her sister and like the mystery of the Wings of Magius and like the whole Mifuyu thing and her relationship with Yachio. And it kind of made me like this episode in particular made me care more about the characters than before because like you got to see their dynamic. They're trying like they are this group of girls that got like taken in by Yachio and they wanted to do something nice for her, but then everything obviously goes wrong because that's how stuff like this goes. So
That's how
I
the
felt
world
like
works.
yeah, it just
Their
felt
world.
it felt like this episode to me was a step more in the right direction, whereas the previous few I was just like I don't care. Like I was half watching the last like 3 episodes because it didn't matter. Like I didn't care about anything.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see like the importance of this episode. And I do like Yachio's relationship with the girls. She's like kind of that nurturing character, similar to how kind of Mammy was in the first season. And I actually do like her character a lot. It's all the other girls that I don't really care about too much. And it seems like they're like it's almost like Yachio has experienced this kind of same situation before, and that's why she's like trying to distance herself from it, but at the same time like guide them in the right direction, and they're just like kind of blowing her off. And so I really feel for the character in that sense, where it's like she's like doesn't really want to like because you have to deal with your own shit. I got my own shit that I'm dealing with. I had like a bunch of bad shit happen to me in the past. I can kind of guide you, but at the end of the day, you guys are on your own, and they are like sort of, at least in my mind, kind of like blowing her off. And so I do
She
feel
herself
for her.
is distancing
For
herself
sure
as well.
She and because she doesn't want to feel the pain again, right? Of
Right,
losing
that
her
feeling,
friend group or whatever happened to her, which we'll probably get next week. Kind of that little cliffhanger. It's like, hey, this is what happened a year ago. And that's kind of how they end it. But I don't know. It's like I like the show, but I don't like the show. I don't know. It's this strange middle ground for me. I don't know. I want to see how it ends though, for sure.
Fair.
I haven't
Yep.
seen the past
Any
like,
other?
3 episodes, so that kind of gives my opinion there. It's hard for me to go want to watch it, honestly.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not a show that you can really binge watch, multiple episodes in a row. I feel like it's just it gets droll.
I don't know. I
A
go to
little bit.
watch it and I start it and then I get distracted and I'm like, I'll watch it later, and then I don't. So that's kind of been my experience, but I'll try and
Yeah.
finish it.
Fair enough.
I'll try.
Fair enough. No worries. The next show we have on the list, Dorohedoro. I don't know if everyone's caught up. Mark, are you there?
I haven't watched the latest episode.
Anybody else caught up? If not, we can kind of jump over it. We get at least if you want to catch up, we have a little bit of noise and God, what's the other character? Noi and her senpai, who I can't remember his name.
I am blanking on his name as well.
Corona Mask, Heart Mask.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get like kind of their backstory and their relationship as to how they're partners, and a little bit more on a little bit more in terms of the lore of the world, with demons and magicians.
War of the
it's
Worlds.
Oh, the
kind of
War of the
interesting kind of
Worlds.
stuff.
Oh, he's the lore of
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
The War of the Worlds.
Lore of the world.
But yeah, keep watching this because this show's sick.
Yeah. I love Dora. Dora's so good.
So good. Last show that I have on here, Azur Lane is back. So episode 11 is out.
Nice.
Did anybody watch it?
I did watch it.
I did
How
not know it
was
came
it?
back.
How was the quality, Mark?
It was actually
Quality.
it was a lot better. I mean,
For the
it's
whole
done by
thing,
a pretty
or-
small studio. So just this episode, yeah, it's a noticeable difference from like episode 10 and 9 and
Nice.
8, 6, 7, 5.
309.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Plus, you get like another big waifu who shows up. So I will watch the finale next week and report back.
Cool.
Yeah, you do
But
that.
it has improved. It has improved.
All right.
I'm
fair
not caught
enough.
up on Darwin's game, by the way, but it's still good. But I'm not caught up. I'll watch both for next week and then bring the memes.
Azur Lane and Darwin's Game.
Yeah,
Nice.
let's do
All
it.
right, yeah.
Do it.
You know what? I started reading the Darwin's Game manga. It's actually pretty good.
The anime
I
is
don't
fun.
know. I
telling
don't know if I have the time. Well, maybe I do since I'm now working from home.
Put it on the side. You got
You
multiple
can't
monitors.
Mark, you can't let your boss
No,
find
well,
you.
I mean, I
Listen.
waste like 2 hours a day in traffic. So there's that extra 2 hours of my life where I can
Yeah.
now watch anime.
There you go.
Two
yeah.
there, two back, or 1 and 1.
Big brain time.
Hour there, hour back, or 2 hours there, 2 hours.
It's
back?
Hour,
like a second
hour,
answer
hour,
now.
an
Okay.
hour.
Oh,
Just making
hour
sure.
and then an
Because we
hour.
know someone who
Alright.
spends like what, an hour and 45 minutes each way.
It took me 2 hours to get to work last week, driving to Burbank, because they
Yikes.
decided they wanted to close the 110 to the 5 interchange.
social distancing.
Social distancing
Yikes.
on the freeway. Yeah.
So you went all the way around.
Get everyone's cars
Oof.
closer
Oof.
together so
Oof.
they're farther apart. That's how that works.
And now I'm working from home, so it's
There you go. Yeah. Well, I think unless anyone has any other shows they want to discuss, that kind of wraps us up for this week. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
And
No, just the. Oh, sorry.
Well, I wanted to ask because I talked a little bit about it last week. I'm not fully caught up, but have you been watching more Smile Down the Runway?
I have not. No, I want to watch. I want to catch up this week. I was very tempted to binge that yesterday, but I fell asleep.
What episode are you on?
Makes sense.
Well, episode 3.
Okay, like you're not
Uh,
far from where I am.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good though. I actually really like it. It's a fun watch. I also want to catch up on the Budokan show because that one's pretty funny.
Yeah, that
Apparently
one.
they have some sort of like virus that they catch in that episode. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if that was planned or they did that.
if it's actually in the
know.
manga or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it's not in in poor taste or anything, is what I heard. So
It's not in poor taste. Okay.
I mean, it's like they get like really sick. So maybe they was just like, do we air this? Well, we have no choice.
I guess not.
It's not.
As it is written,
But no,
so it
so it shall be.
That's what they said.
Yeah, they say that in this show. No, but I did want to say that we have it in our announcements, but next week I think we'll discuss spring 2020 shows, what to watch.
Jam-packed season.
Yeah.
We'll
I
see
just
what
watched the
actually ends
trailer.
up being good.
Just watched the trailer for Tower of God. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Excited for that one.
Is that
All
the
right,
one done
so
by?
yeah.
Is that done by Crunchyroll or is that just
Yeah, that's like the Crunchyroll original one.
okay?
Yeah, surprisingly looks pretty good.
Cool. All right. So yeah, that kind of leads us into our final announcements. As Mark said, 2020 spring anime is right around the corner, so we'll be kind of going through what's kind of like to see and what we're looking forward to, all that good stuff. So if you want recommendations for next season and want to know what we're interested in, make sure you join us next week.
Right here.
Yeah, that's right. Other closing info. We're streaming live on twitch.tv/animeondraft. Make sure you stop by generally on Mondays around 7 to 8 PST or just Pacific time. I don't know what it is now because the time
Pacific
changed.
Daylight Time.
So make sure
Normal.
you join us there. We'll be tweeting about it. But again, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Twitch.tv/animeondraft. And if you want to chat along as we're live streaming, feel free to do so. Our website, animeondraft.com. Head there for all of your news regarding the podcast. We'll be updating some of the old, make sure the archive's up to date, all that good stuff. So that'll be there on animeondraft.com. We are also on Discord if someone wants to drop that link. It is also available on our website, but feel free to stop by, contribute to the memes while everyone's social distancing and isolating in your homes. It's a fun place to kind of unwind on Discord. So check it out. If you need the link, go to animeondraft.com. We're also on Twitter at @AnimeOnDraft. Tweet at us. Mark's got some more time working from home, so he'd be more than happy to engage on Twitter with y'all. So again, at @AnimeOnDraft there.
I was
Our
going to say we're
Instagram-
more likely to respond in Discord now too.
Yeah,
we're
'cause we're all working from home.
That's right. Our Instagram, Anime on Draft Podcast. Check us out there. Different pictures and posts of different things that we do in terms of beer. If we go to different places, although we probably won't be going anywhere anytime soon. But check us out, Anime on Draft Podcast. Also, if you want to listen to us anywhere podcast services are, just search for Anime on Draft, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, or Twitch VODs, Apple Podcasts, etc. Make sure also, if you listen to us on there, drop us a 5-star rating, leave us a comment. Kind of helps with searchability, visibility, all that good stuff.
Fun ability.
Listenability,
Posting
Yeah.
ability, friendship ability,
5-star ability,
If you're
Team 5-star.
SSR ability.
SS Gridman.
if you're watching and are trying to get us to collaborate on women's swimwear, I believe we are not interested. So stop sending us
I don't
emails
think-
about that.
We're your
It's official.
clientele.
We are not
Yeah,
interested.
we are not interested in becoming Instagram models for your women's swimwear. Just-
Are you sure?
No one wants to see that from us. Sorry.
They make good money. I want in on this.
Yeah, let's
Well,
get 4 dad
hit
bods in
Mark
women's
up.
swimwear.
I have a very girlish figure, and I might be able to pull it off.
There, there you go.
Yeah.
So Mark,
Yeah,
you
just
drop
get
your,
Mark
you
into
drop
the
your
heels.
individual Instagram, and
We got the next
You-
sneaky
you
right
wait.
here.
You laugh, but
Yeah.
it's 2020. You wait, it's gonna happen.
So, yeah,
I'll wait, but I'm
reach
not
out- reach
gonna
out to-
see.
reach out to Mark
Yep.
individually for any swimsuit related endeavors. And then lastly, if you have any topics or anything you'd like us to talk about on the show, feel free to reach out to any of the above places, but also you can email us contact@animeondraft.com. So
Yeah, put it in chat.
yeah.
Put it in there.
So with that said, I think that wraps up our oral hygiene episode 142. I think what we learned today is brush your own teeth, don't brush your siblings' teeth.
Wash
definitely
your
not.
hands.
Wash your hands.
Your own hands,
Don't touch
not
your
your
face.
siblings'
Your own
Yeah,
hands.
your own hands. Don't wash somebody else's hands. You don't want to do that.
Unless they need help.
yeah,
you know,
maybe
if
they need
need
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Use lots of soap though.
Yeah.
Um,
But if someone needs
But
help
yeah.
brushing their teeth, just find a dentist and be like,
If
hey,
it- you know,
help them. Help them.
Yeah, maybe if they need help, brushing their teeth, point them to a dentist because they probably need their teeth cleaned.
yeah, disgusting. You guys are
Ugh.
disgusting.
Disgusting.
But yeah, that's it. Any last words or start the music?
Gonna get
take
another
take
Corona
care
and
of
play League.
yourselves out there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
stay
Yeah.
safe.
And
Stay
Yeah.
inside.
All right, and we'll catch you next week.
bye.
Bye.